The NFL's back, and there's no better way to stay up to date on the latest from around the league than listening to the Around the NFL podcast. Join me, Dan Hanzus, and my buds, Mark Sessler and Greg Rosenthal, for the latest football news with a dash of mirth.
We are three guys embarking on our 11th season together. 11 seasons, can't be wrong. Come along for the ride.
Fresh content almost every day, all season long.
Listen to Around the NFL on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Brought to you by the first ever Toyota Grand Highlander.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Find great brands like Kohler at your local showroom or visit us online at ferguson.com/build.
It's time to get inside the Giants Huddle.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
On Giants.com.
I like it, I like it.
And the Giants mobile app.
Boom, give me some juice.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
Let's roll.
Welcome to the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Football Giants. It's a Week 18 Giants rapid reaction as the Giants finish the season with a 27-10 win over the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. Madeline Burke here with Howard Cross. And Howard, as we recap this one, first of all, talking about the game that was, Giants looked so strong. They were up. They had 24 points in the first half of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought what was going to happen happened. I thought that they was going to come out. They exposed the Eagles last time. The Eagles are no longer the bullies on the block, so to speak. They've lost both coordinators over the last season. Through, when you have great success, you lose a lot of players. They lost a lot of their defensive guys. A lot of veterans have gone on to other teams to make a lot of money. So you have a lot of rookies in their plan, and some of their key guys weren't in the game. So, they're already kind of shorthanded, especially in the secondary. They're shorthanded in their pass rusher, like they're getting to the quarterback a lot less, like more than a third less than they were last year. So all those factors kind of pointing to like, okay, if the Giants kind of come out and step on them a little bit, they might, kind of, give it up. And I think giving it up is kind of a little rough, but knowing that you're already in the playoffs, knowing that, you can't really improve your position, you're not getting a bye if you win, they started to look at it more as, okay, maybe we should just take what we get here.
Yeah, well, and the way that the Giants played, though, the winning the turnover battle 4-1 was important, but also the offense, the way the offense looked in that first half, 3 straight possessions ending in a touchdown for this Giants team. The way they were able to move down the field and get things working, get things clicking, there's got to be some optimism for what that says about the future of a lot of these pieces, a lot of these players on this team.
Yeah, it does. It says a great deal about the future, about Kefka's offense, the way it was able to work as you went on. Remember, the offensive line had changed again. Schmitz didn't play. Neal wasn't playing. Phillips, who had been playing most of the year at right tackle, wasn't playing. And now you got guys switching and moving around and adjusting, and they were still able to do a pretty decent job running the ball and a pretty decent job protecting the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. They were able to do that. They were able to get things going. Saquon Barkley had 2 rushing touchdowns on the day. Darius Slayton had a 19-yard passing touchdown. Mm-hmm. All of those came in the second quarter. The Giants were up 24-0 at the half. Eagles came in the third quarter. Late in the third quarter, Jake Elliott connects on a 36-yard field goal to put the Giants on the board. Quez Watkins has a 16-yard touchdown early in the fourth quarter, give them 10 points on the day. But overall, the Giants were really in control from start to finish in this one, and having a win like that over a division opponent. Tyrod Taylor talked about this at his post-game media availability, saying, that's something that's a point of emphasis, as a point of growth for this team, especially last year. They won 1 game in the division. They won 1 and they tied 1 against Washington. This year they've won 3 games in the division. And when you're talking about closing the talent gap, your division is where you want to start.
Yeah, but I think you have to keep everything in perspective. You close the talent gap, and I think that's obvious because the Eagles just weren't the same team they were last year. They're no longer the bullies on the block, so you can get after them a little bit more. Washington is just I don't want to be mean. They're just Washington. They haven't gained any strides. They don't really have a set franchise quarterback. Their defense that was so vaunted is getting older, and the guys that are not just getting older, there are guys leaving and going off to other teams via trade as you're trying to pick up draft picks. So they're struggling. So the Giants were able to feast on them for the last few years. But the Eagles and the Cowboys are the teams you're still trying to get after. The Cowboys are going to be interesting because I think like they're going to shoot their shot this year, and after this year, they're going to lose a lot more of their players. When you lose a lot of players, it means it makes a big difference to you. And I don't know what kind of depth they have. So if you want to say we're closing the gap in those areas, maybe. But we're still struggling up front at offensive line. We still need another pass rusher. With Adoree Jackson, potential other guys not being able to be re-signed or whatever it could be, we don't know what the team makeup's going to be next year. So that'll be the difference in the talent gap is the makeup of the team coming up this following year.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Right, and you mentioned Dallas. Dallas won in Washington 38-10, securing the number one spot of the NFC East. They won the division. The Eagles will be a 5 seed in the postseason too. But back to what this game looked like for the Giants. Wink Martindale's defense, this is a guy who likes to dial up a blitz. He dials up a blitz in the preseason. He was putting pressure on the quarterback. And the way that you look at how this team as a group performed, eliminated a couple weeks ago from postseason contention, still running through the tape. Sorry, I dropped the phone there. Still running through the tape and finishing strong on the season. Wink's defense did absolutely that too. And he said, yeah, I get that it's week 18, but you know what? We're going to put the pressure on. We're sending 7 guys on this play right here. When you have that much pressure on the quarterback, what kind of a benefit does that give you?
Well, the Eagles do something, like I said, they're different coordinators. Their offense coordinators they're one of the teams that has the fewest amount of motions and shifts during their offensive plays, which allows you to set up your defense and just come after guys. And if you don't bring guys in for protection, if you're not shifting guys, trying to, make the defense, declare, you can get after guys. And that's what Wink did. Wink's like, if you're just going to sit there, perfect. We're going to come. And let's see who's going to outsmart who and who's going to get there. And the Giants got there over and over, especially with the inside blitzes and everything. And a lot of it was basically the outside guys like Thibodeau, Ojulari getting pressure. Sometimes Ward got pressure up the middle as a D lineman, and then you had the safeties and the linebackers coming from the outside. Though all those things kind of lead up to, build up on the quarterback. They get him off his spot. They get him nervous. The good thing about Jalen is that Jalen can run, and he's pretty durable, and he's pretty fast, and he doesn't just go down when you get in there. But, they got him out of there after he got the second sack. He's like, okay, well, he's getting hit way too much, and we need him for the following week for our quote-unquote playoff game.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts did go to the Blue medical tent for a period of time with a finger injury, what looked like a finger injury. Had that thing taped up, threw a pick to Xavier McKinney. The Eagles then changed quarterbacks, went to Marcus Mariota at their next offensive possession, who threw a pick to Xavier McKinney, who was having a great day. 2 picks in less than 2 minutes out there on the field. Some light work for Xavier, who's been a great part of this Giants defense, too, who's never had an interception on the road. Fun fact, he's had all of his interceptions with the Giants here at MetLife Stadium. So that, bodes well for this Giants defense, which put the offense in a great position once again. Tyrod Taylor throwing for 297 yards, touchdown and an interception, just 3 yards away from another back-to-back 300-yard passing game right there. But one of the guys who was on the receiving end of 3 significant passes from him was one Sterling Shepard, because 3 passes is all Shep needed to move into the number 5 spot in the all-time list of Giants wide receivers in Giants receptions. 372 career receptions here with the Giants organization. Sterling Shepard now number 5 all-time in Giants receiving. That, it's a great accomplishment, a great moment. And the fact that this team was able to kind of put him in that position to call those plays, to dial that up, to make that a point of emphasis of accomplishing that for him, just really shows what he means to this organization. A guy who acknowledged earlier this week that this could be his last season putting on a Giants jersey, and perhaps his last season playing in the NFL.
It's kind of cool. I was thinking about this before the game. Shep's getting out here to play. He has an opportunity to put himself on the Giants record book in a top 5 position. And then, but it's not really up to him. So that's the thing that's kind of interesting. And you're wondering, okay, is he going to get in the games? If he gets in the game, is he going to get any passes? And they made it a point to get the ball to him. They were up. They already had their lead, and they knew they were going to, they had great control of the game. So then they went out of their way to try to get the ball to him. He had 3 receptions which the third reception was considered a run because he caught the ball back behind the line of scrimmage, and then they come right back and they shovel pass it to him to make sure that he catches the ball going forward. So I thought that was pretty cool for them to do that, to help him put his name up in the top 5 in receiving in his last game of his season. It reminded me of myself. I'm laughing, like my last game of my season. I think I was at that time, I was the all-time leader in games played by the Giants at that moment. So they're like, you're running out in the field and putting your name up on the board. Oh, I'm like, somebody's going to beat this. This is great. And they're like, dude, you played more games than anybody in history for them. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But with Shep, it's just that happening for him on the last game. I think that's so special. I think it shows something about the organization paying attention to things like that and looking out for his players.
Yeah, and it's so special that it happened for him on the last game, and especially for a guy who's very easy to root for, who's overcome so much, knee injury, Achilles, a lot of injuries throughout his career.
And it happens at home. That's the other good thing about it. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So great day, an emotional day for Sterling Shepard. He and Saquon Barkley walked off the field together. Saquon finishes the season just shy of 1,000 rushing yards as well. 2 rushing touchdowns again today, the second game this season that he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Darius Slayton set a new career high in receptions on the season and receiving yards on the season, as well as he continues to prove his worth and his value in this offense as well.
Yeah, I think Slayton, with Shep, he's always been banged up. God bless him, and that's the thing that kind of kept him from really eclipsing that record a lot earlier and being maybe number 2 or even number 1 for the Giants. And as far as Saquon goes, he missed like four games in the season, right there in the middle. He doesn't miss those games, 3 games, and if he doesn't miss those games, he probably breaks, gets over 1,000 yards, gets probably closer to 1,200 or 1,300 yards. Like we thought he would, and it just makes a big difference in the flow of the games and what's happening. But it's one of those things, like we keep pulling for these guys over and over. We'll keep hoping that they're going to continue to do all these big things for us. But hey, it's football and it's business.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New You moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Absolutely. It's business indeed. And the Giants finished their season at 6-11, third in the NFC East. And a lot of things that you look back on this season to remember, right? There was, Justin Pugh straight off the couch and Tommy Cutlets and, DeVito Mania and, Shepard's emotional send-off and the highs and the lows and the adversity, the Daniel Jones injury, all the things that this team stuck together and overcame. But when you look back at the 2023 Giants season, what's going to stand out for you?
The woulda, coulda, shouldas. Even with what was going on, how everything was so tumultuous. Like the year before, they won a lot of those games that were close games, 1-point games or whatever, and that made a big difference. But if you go back, you look at the Buffalo game, could have been a winner. You go back, you look at the Jets game, could have been a winner. You go back, look at the first Eagles game, could have been a winner. Those 3 games right there puts the
Rams game.
The Rams game could have been a winner. That puts them at 10. That's 10-7, which puts them, firmly in the playoffs. So all those games kind of like they were just a play here, a play there from being a big difference. And it wasn't like they were getting, 4 plays or 5 plays. It was just like one play. One play was making a difference in all those games, and that's the woulda, coulda, shoulda of football. And even with as many injuries as they had, as much that was going on, we're constantly talking about complimentary football. They got to find a way to get this done. They were almost there. With everything else going on, they were really almost there at the end of the day.
Almost there indeed. But you know what? They did finish with a win, capped off the season with a 27-10 win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Always nice to get a win, especially against the Eagles and a division opponent, right? I can see Howard smiling. You can't see it if you're listening, but Howard is smiling the second I said nice to get a win over the Eagles.
I just was like, holy smokes. Everybody's like, well, if they do this, their draft pick will be here. They'll be like, I'm like, if they had the first pick in the draft, I don't care. Just beat the Eagles. No one likes the Eagles. Let's just move on. Can we just get them in? Once you got them, and I was hoping they would shut them out. I hate to say that because, There are some Bama guys over there, but just shut them out. Just smoke them. I'm like, just smoke them. They've been bullying you for so long. Just smoke them and get it over with.
Absolutely, and it's nice to get that win, finish off the season. And as far as draft picks go, hey, this coaching team, this scouting department, and these general managers, this is strong enough to find some talent in this draft, wherever the Giants select. But that's a wrap for the 2023 Giants season. And the Giants finished 6-11 on the year. For Howard Cross, I'm Madeline Burke. And just a reminder that the Giants Huddle podcast is brought to you by Citizens. Of course, the Huddle brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants from game day to every day. Citizens is made ready for Giants fans with insights, guidance, and solutions. Learn more at citizensbank.com.
You deserve to treat yourself, so turn your tax refund into a U fund and give yourself a Straight Talk Wireless Extended Silver Unlimited plan and get a new Samsung Galaxy A14 on them. You can get a great everyday value on wireless with Straight Talk's Unlimited plan starting at $25 a line per month for 4 lines. You'll save so much you'll be enjoying that refund all year long. It's the refund that keeps on refunding. Find Straight Talk at straighttalk.com or at your local Walmart store.
Taxes and fees not included. Offer valid through 4/14/24 while supplies last. Online only. Must purchase a Straight Talk Extended Silver Unlimited plan to qualify. Limit of 5 phones per customer. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Not combinable with autopay discount.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Find great brands like Thermador at your local showroom or visit us online at ferguson.com/build.